Called it. Called it. Yeah, that's a big convict right there.
You're just gonna fillet this sucker right off the bone?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fish Out Northwest, waiting on Tommy Donlin.
This is what you call a bait stop.
Hello and welcome to Fish Out Northwest, Duane, England. And yes, you may have noticed this is not Thomas Donlin. Matter of fact, the big man himself is, he's down at Westport, getting ready for the WTC. It takes two fine gentlemen to replace one Tommy Donlin, and that's who I have in here this evening. Of course, the general himself, Bill Herzog, and of course, Scott Kaul, no stranger to the studio. You've been here before as well.
Possibly not a fine gentleman, but yes.
Okay,
yes,
well, I retract the previous statement. Scott Kaul,
fair enough.
Owner of Brad's Killer Fishing Gear. These gentlemen are joining me this evening, and we are looking forward to a fantastic show. Once again, tons of info to cover, and these guys are here to help me out. So appreciate you boys being here.
Always a pleasure, sir, as you know.
Make the drive.
Super excited. Talk some Buoy 10.
Oh, we
Buoy
got
10 set up, all sorts of good stuff. What do you got on your schedule
Yeah,
there,
well,
buddy?
we got a lot. Before we get into it too far, hey, if you're just joining us for the first time, want to welcome everybody. You're going to be joining us en route later on. Want to welcome all the new folks to the show. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Hopefully you're entertained and you learn as we cover ground this evening. And again, lots of really great content. I want to also remind folks, if you have not done so, please jump over to our webpage, www.fishhuntnw.com, and there you're going to find a coupon right on the front page, FHN20. Click on that coupon. It's going to take you right to the Edge Rods page, and for good reason. All Edge Rods via Fish Hunt Northwest, you're going to get 20% off every rod purchased all the time, unless that rod already falls under another special or some type of other coupon code. Any rod you purchase via Fish Hunt Northwest, FHN20 at checkout, going to receive 20% off all your fishing rods. So, and with that, at our webpage, you're going to find a lot of really good content, blogs, recipes, how-tos, and a lot of insightful links. It also will put you in contact with all of our social media platforms, and you can stream us via Facebook or YouTube channel. Jump on over to the YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe if you would. Help us build those numbers as well. Anybody been out fishing lately? Anyone?
Well, I've been sneaking around Eastern Washington a little bit by my house, not too far from my house. I've been finding some really amazing salmon fishing, Duane.
We're going to be talking about that in a little bit because, matter of fact, we had some of those Upper Columbia River Chinook this evening. A trip Scott and I were on together. We decided to throw that on the grill tonight.
Talk to me about Chef Sherry.
Huh?
Yeah. Chef Sherry.
I'm telling you.
Oh, boy.
So anybody that sits in these seats.
Killed it.
You know, you arrive here,
Thank
you get
you,
the whole
Sherry.
deal, you get the
boy.
dinner,
Wow.
you come in here. I try to keep you from slipping into a coma, and we do the show. But how good is that salmon?
It's as good as any salmon you're going to eat. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit later.
We are going to talk about that.
But let me tell you, the way she cooked it tonight, I ate way more than I should have, which is not unusual. You put salmon in front of me, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
It's going to disappear.
Yeah.
Scott, you were out chasing.
Two pieces this big?
Oh, yeah.
He chose the one on the right.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
There's
the whole one on,
there's only two pieces, and there's 6 people. So we got a problem.
Okay.
That's called Herzog math.
Yes.
Right.
That's how that works out. So, again, I want to thank you guys for being here. Scott, you just got back from a little
I had a
trip.
bucket list trip, fantastic, down out of San Diego. A friend of mine's got a boat down there. Said, hey, come on down. It's they're happening, they're popping, and yeah, instead of going south, we actually went north.
To go find your bluefin.
To go find the bluefin.
How about
and there was
that?
a mass of 15 miles of bluefin.
Wow.
That is amazing. So hopefully we can talk a little about that later on in the show.
Exciting.
Before we get too far along here, gentlemen, we're going to run down the tonight's lineup, running down the show. Bill, we had mentioned the Wenatchee River, of all things, is open for sockeye and Chinook. How good is the fishing? And some info you probably don't know. Going to bring that to the folks and educate them on some things going on with that Tumwater facility. Also, Port Angeles, numbers and quotas, what worked and lessons learned. Just got back from a little run out there with the Mack's lure team. We had an epic couple days. Want to fill you in on how that went and where they sit as far as the fishery is concerned. Another installment of the FHN Quick Tip, Brad's Killer Fishing Gear. Gonna unveil the KCP and how well that little cup plug works for Chinook. Wait till you see this. Then we're gonna jump in the bait lab, Scott. With Scott Kaul, Brad's Killer Fishing Gear, buoy 10 rigging and options. A lot of this gear for Brad's does very well down at buoy 10. Worked for us great last year. Can't wait to get into it this year as well. Then we're gonna check in with our buddy Tommy Donlin, who's down at Westport, waiting the start of the WTC. Are there any tuna around, and what's his prediction for the outcome of that particular tournament? I think he is probably sitting in a pretty good spot to take home a victory. So, lots to get through this evening. Don't go anywhere. Jump out for a quick break. We'll be back here to talk about the Wenatchee River. It's open for Chinook, and this guy knows a thing or two about it. Right here, Fish on Northwest.
Defiance Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Defiance Marine guarantees the best price on a new and best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine is a boat dealer who proudly sells Defiance, Allied, and Arima boats. All boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Defiance Marine has all your boating needs to help you get out on the water.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company can build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
For more than 90 years, you've entrusted one brand to guide you toward living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Now you can entrust affiliated Better Homes and Gardens real estate professional to interpret your needs and help you find the home in which to live your dreams through every stage of your home buying or selling process. And through every stage of your life, there's Better Homes and Gardens real estate. Expect better.
Welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Duane England, Bill Herzog, and Scott Kaul joining me this evening and helping out with the co-host duties. You guys ready for this?
Always ready.
Yeah, I'm actually just getting my 20% discount on Edge rods.
You doing that right now?
Give me a sec.
I'm going to let you do that.
All right.
Bill,
Yes, sir.
recently the Wenatchee River opened up for sockeye, but more importantly, Chinook. And, you know, I did a little digging. I tried to figure out when's the last time that thing was open for fall run Chinook, right, or summer Chinook. And really couldn't find anything other than I kept landing on information that would indicate it was open in 2014 for springers. And I asked a few people, and I'm talking about folks who live over there,
Right.
in Leavenworth. Yeah, I can't remember the last time it was open. It's been so long, right?
It was open last year. We did
Chinook?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
It opened up August 1st last year,
Okay.
but I got to the party late last year.
Oh,
I
you
got
did?
there in the middle of the month
Gotcha.
and still found pretty good fishing, but all I heard from all the people who were bank fishing was, you have to be here at the beginning. You
At the
have
start.
to be here.
Yeah.
So I was. Yes, sir, I was August 1st.
On the Wenatchee.
I was.
Bobber and eggs?
Bobber and eggs, with your eggs, as a matter of fact,
Weird.
which, believe it or not, pretty much outfished
They
everybody
kind
else's
of work.
eggs. Yeah, they did.
Let's run down a little bit of intel that I picked up. Tommy and I picked up. So we were over a few weeks ago fishing Brewster. Staying at Richie Harrod's place, our buddy Richie Harrod, and his son-in-law Chris works at the fish trap facility at Tumwater Dam. And so we got educated on what is going on at that fish trap facility, and it's pretty interesting in that, so those fish are trying to make it up over that dam, and they got a really good-sized fish ladder there. And so the Chinook that they're capturing, they're actually putting pit tags in them. And I was like, why are you pit tagging adult fish. Well, they want to know survivability and exactly where those fish are going. Now, most of these were spring Chinook and very few early summer kings, but it was just at the front edge. Those fish are running up the Wenatchee once they release them with the pit tag, and they're going to go into 3 different tributaries up there: the White, the Chihuahua, and the Little Wenatchee, right? And so you can see it on the map here. They have the location of the hatchery, and they run on up into those tributaries, and they're tracking because they got receiving units up there that they cross, and they're truly gauging the survivability of a number of these fish. And Chris had said, in all the years of him working there, he has never seen so many spring Chinook this late in the season. Mind you, we're there middle of July, and the spring Chinook are still coming, right? So, and they're going to continue to do this with the summer Chinook and into the fall fisheries. There is a lot of work that goes on at these facilities in trapping fish, monitoring fish, and the efforts that go in on this east side. I mean, you drive by that place, you wouldn't think that was a fish trap facility looking at it, but it is. And there's the fish ladder, and so thousands and thousands. And typically when they get their first sockeye in, it's about a week until they start getting good numbers of sockeye. This year,
right,
they got a sockeye in. The next day they got 37. The next day they got 125. And the 4th day they had well over 1,000 fish in one day.
Push. That's a good
Chris
sign.
said, there's going to be well over 100,000 sockeye going to Lake Wenatchee this year, which we already know is happening because the escapement is 27,000. And the fishery already opened up. Guys are just crushing them over there. It's just, again, showing you the number of fish. And here's some of the Chinook Herzog you took advantage of.
I did.
Fishing bobber and eggs over there. Now, you look at that big Chinook that Jordan had just put on there, and the outside of that fish would make you think,
November hump tulips spawning salmon, right?
yes.
But look at the photo right
back.
there. Look at the photo right there. When you cut these open, it's genetics. These fish, they're going to go hundreds and hundreds of miles and spend many months before they have to spawn. They got to go a long ways. They are so full of fat.
Look at the fat in those
the fat at the belly cut of that thing, right?
If you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe it. I didn't for years.
Right,
But I learned the hard way. I let so many go. But I did an experiment. I had a piece of calf lammet Springer I cooked right next to a piece of that fish you just saw right there. And I asked my wife, I go, taste both.
Yeah.
Give me the best one. She goes, they taste the same to me. Let me repeat that. A March calf lammet Springer and that fish you just saw on the screen tasted the same.
Yeah. See, over here on the west side, and Scott, you would know, as far as fishing with folks, the silvery fish is what we're accustomed to. We get a little snobbish over here.
Chrome bias.
Oh yeah, chrome bias. We go over there.
Suntan we throw back.
Oh gosh, we go on that east side and we're like, why would you keep that boot? But Bill, you've said it for years, even back when we were doing radio. Genetics is an amazing thing.
It is.
And the fat stores on those fish are second to none.
Right.
And those Chinook, those spring Chinook, summer, fall kings, those sockeye, when they hit that Tumwater Creek facility and then get moved upriver, they still have another 20 to 30 or so miles to go.
Right.
They will have traveled
months.
They will have traveled just over 700 miles.
Isn't that crazy?
From the saltwater.
Yeah.
Right.
And those spring Chinook in that tank were in amazing shape considering how far they've gone and what time of the year it is considering when they entered into fresh water. So it's impressive. Those fisheries over there perform. The fish, table fare. We had some tonight from the Wanapum Dam facility area where Scott and I were fishing several weeks ago. Just amazing.
Fantastic.
The flavor is
They're not
amazing.
Small either. Those fish are beautiful sized.
Great egg bite going on over there.
Yeah.
I would suggest people take bobbers and eggs and get on over there and get some. Don't you think?
Absolutely. When I was running a 1 ounce bobber with graduated shot underneath it, weighed about an ounce altogether, 20-pound test, fluorocarbon leader, 5/0 hook. You saw the mouth.
It was
Not a
in the
problem.
throat.
It'll fit. And a big gob of guts that you put together.
Oh, weird.
And those Potski cured eggs were just spectacular. And we had a very good bite the first couple days, and I'm so glad I went early.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Take advantage of it. Wenatchee doesn't open every year, and when it does, you need to be there. All right, jump out for a quick break. We come back. Fisheries, what you need to know. A little bit of time over there at Port Angeles, around the hook, and what's going on.
Yes.
After this break, right here at Fish on Northwest.
Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
Hi, this is Joe and Megan from Archery World. We have 4 store locations. We are at the Lacey location right now. I just want to highlight some of our camping gear. We have Mystery Ranch packs. We have Crispy boots. We have 6 Hour optics. We carry Havalon knives. We carry Garmin products as well. So it's not just archery. We want to try to make this one-stop shopping for you guys. And so if you need it and it puts you in the outdoors, we probably have it. So come down and see us.
Welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Wayne England with my co-host. Doing a fantastic job, boys.
Why, thank you, sir.
Appreciate you making the
Haven't
drive.
gone overtime yet.
No, both of you, actually, it's a little bit of a commitment to get here, and it's not like you just, stumble across this place.
Well worth it. Yeah, very much appreciate the
Appreciate
invite.
it.
You bet. Like
Good
to
opportunity.
say, if it was 100 miles further, I'd still go.
You still go.
You
That is
bet.
correct. So, one luxury of being retired is I've been on the road with the boat. Handful of destinations already.
You're
right?
not retired. No. You just picked up.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not
getting
retired
pretty
in the
busy.
slightest.
Didn't take the boat when Scott and I fished together. We were with Chris, but went out there. Jordan and I did that fishery at Wanapum, then took the boat over there to Brewster. Just got back from Port Angeles. Oh, by the way, the little Wyoming trip was in there somewhere in the middle too, as well, right? The PA trip did not disappoint. Day one, come out around the hook there and fish. I have not spent a lot of time at Port Angeles, so this is not a fishery in my backyard. But I always love to go take on additional fisheries and try to see what it is. It's salmon fishing in the saltwater, and people talk about it up there. Want to go check it out. It was interesting because of some of the folks we got introduced to and got to fish with, and really, really a pleasure. And out there in front of PA day one, man, the wind was cranking, and it was almost it was a go, no go. You're in the straits,
Makes it
wind is
challenging.
honking, and it was almost like being in the ocean on some points of that thing. It was getting tossed around pretty good, but we were able to get lines down and fish pretty consistently, and really no issues with gear getting tangled, because when I can, I like to take advantage, Bill, of running that center rod out the back, 2 in the downrigger, 1 on lead. And I'm like, well, we got to get down to get into any of these fish. There's not a lot of coho around in my mind. So we're going to target Chinook. So 12 ounces out the back. Brad's Evolution Flasher on there. And running spoons. And by God, that center rod. I figured we put it out at 70 and 80 feet as the sun came up.
Shotgun rod. Getting
Yeah,
hammered.
man. It's probably down
I love
about
it.
40 feet or so, getting those suspended Chinook, Day one, it worked well. Day two, only got bit a couple times. And we were changing it out. We were going with 3.5 Kingfisher spoons and putting ace high flies on there. I like to run a smile blade in front of my ace high flies. That seems to be a pretty, continuous ticket as far as getting bit. But I'll tell you one thing I did, because there was no issue with dogfish out there. So I'm always running a bait rod. You know me, I love to run bait. And that one rod was pretty consistent in getting bit, especially on day two. But what I did find interesting, and of course, again, this is not a fishery in my backyard, but rolling bait on a natural shiner, whether it be a red label herring or an anchovy, just wasn't getting sniffed or bit, man. I put out a herring that I brined up in fire brine with a little shot of the blue fire brine, not a lot, just to put a blue sheen on it in some anise. And I'm telling you, man, that rod produced, like day 2, it was good for at least 9 fish.
There's a reason for everything. Now think about what you did. Blue shows up deeper than anything, number one, okay?
Yeah.
And when you add that extra flash to it, your attraction radius gets larger.
Especially when the sun comes out,
It may not have smelled any different to them, but they can sure see it from a wider area, and you're going to get bit more just because of that. And going back to the center rod, and when you're on a downrigger, your stuff is pretty static, okay?
Correct.
Your flash, when that's on a lead, it's going like this.
It's a very good point. It's got more pendulum.
It has extra action, and plus your flasher doesn't work robotically. It's more erratic, and you'll get bit often way more on that center rod on the lead than you will on the downriggers for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're out there, you're maneuvering, you're trying to stick to a contour or a certain depth. We're in about 70, sometimes 80 foot of water. Found some golden numbers based on a phone call. 57 to 63, dropped it to 63. This was day 2. Big old mid-teener hen, extra fin. Next fish that comes in, big old mid-teener hen, extra fin. That was the program for the day. I had put a post out that indicated the numbers of fish we got into. It ruffled a few feathers because I had made a point to say we couldn't get bit by hatchery fish. Now, other boats were. Our day was all wild fish to the boat, released, unharmed. That was the MO. And for whatever reason, we just couldn't get bit by hatchery fish. Now, some people were balking at that because they're like, yeah, is that what you tell the fish checkers? Or, way to go, way to blow up the quota. It was the last day. The fishery was closed when we were done. I know when to put appropriate posts out, numbers, and they are quota fishing.
Don't troll the trolls.
Well, I just kind of like, I get your point, but there's a time and a place, and this is a time and a place, and I had no problem putting that out there. But, the fishing was amazing. The 360 flashers are getting it done. Scott, that breakaway works fantastic, even in the salt water. Love that thing. The herring was getting it done, and, I'm looking forward to Buoy 10 because some of this stuff that I'm using out there in Puget Sound is just going to be dropped over there.
'Tis the season.
Buoy 10 and get into that. So. All right, just a little recap of PA for you guys that fish on a regular basis. Man, you got a mecca of fish in the straits there in your backyard, and I can't wait to get back there once it opens again for Chinook next time. But the coho fishing coming up soon, and it's going to be absolutely lights out. They're not too far out, and they're getting big from early reports, so something to look forward to. All right, jump out for a quick break. We come back. It'll be the FHN Weekly Quick Tip with this man right here. After the break, right here, Fish on Northwest.
Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
New days. New beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Sportco, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh. No, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Hey, welcome back here in studio Fish on Northwest. Scott, you are one that will try to convince people that the KCP the kokanee cut plug will work for those big old Chinook.
Boy, there are times, and there's people around the country that don't believe it, but here in the Northwest, they're starting to see it.
Well, tell you what, I'm going to make some more believers out of folks tonight. This week's FHN Quick Tip.
So that's a KCP with 2/0 hooks. Run the KCP with 2/0 hooks. Works just fine. Big Kings obviously is his Big King, and it's running just fine. I think you got a good hook set on it. Can't wait to get this pig up.
We had the setting in the middle with the kokanee cut plug is too much action. The rod was kind of just thumping way too much. Scott reeled up, he adjusted the flasher, went to the very top setting on the flasher, and put this KCP, the hot melon, back out. KCP-045 and got the right action. So that's the cool thing about this flasher.
They're adjustable, man.
You know, if you got too much thump, you can slow it down. If you don't have enough thump, you can speed it up. And that's the cool thing about it.
Here's one of our newer plugs. This is called the Hot Melon. We've had it in the larger plug, but we now have it in the KCP. So we broke this out today, right now. So it's just about noon. You see the sun is coming out, it's getting bright, fish are getting a little more skittish. We did really well on the bigger baits this morning, the big super baits, cut plugs, all those. Now we're sizing down. So we just had this out, maybe not even 10 minutes, and ended up catching that nice king that you'll see right here.
I'm horrible with the net. Horrible with the net. And cheaper. You know, yeah, it's not free to kill.
Right here.
There's that lure. Nice.
So when they say kokanee cut plug and small baits don't catch big fish, no, don't believe it. Especially midday, don't turn your back on it. If the fish are getting skittish, go down in size. Just like spinner sizes, look what's happened in spinners. Gone big, now all the way down to 3.5, 3.0. This is the same thing, but in a cut plug style, and you get the scent trailing out.
Scott, I'm here to tell you, man, that little plug was responsible for a few of those nice big kings, huh? It flat out produced that in the Seahawk color as well. That little
Seahawk all year, all up and down the river, doesn't matter where you're at, has produced. I'm getting texts today from guys out in the Salt. It's blowing up. We saw it up in Wanapum.
Yeah.
All the way above that,
Yeah.
and all spots in between. Seahawk this year just lights out number.
And both the mini and the kokanee.
And the full size.
And the full size.
Yeah.
But I like your point that when it gets sunny, Bill, you had mentioned at the break, lots of pressure.
Yeah, well, the kokanee size one, even the mini cut plug, after those fish have been hammered, like we fish off the mouth of the Entiat, we fish at Chelan Falls, they'll turn off into the troll.
Yeah.
Unless you size down. And the kokanee plug still gets bit when the bigger ones get ignored.
Absolutely.
So the last 3 years, our largest salmon have all been on the kokanee cut plug.
Fantastic. All right, great stuff. We're going to jump out for a quick break. That's going to do it for us first half of the show. If you're tuning in via Root Sports, jump over onto the live stream. Join us after the break right here at Fish on Northwest.
Sergeant Daniel Moulter began his tour of duty on October 21st, 1996, and ended his tour on June 27th, 2020. On the authority of Constable Carlos B. Lopez of the Travis County Constable's Office, Precinct 5, badge number 504 is officially retired, and Sergeant Dale Moulter is 1042. Godspeed, Sergeant Moulter.
Honoring fallen law officers of 2021. The 2022 End of Watch Ride begins in May from Spokane, Washington. The ride across the country to honor the men and women of law enforcement who paid the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our communities will cover more than 23,000 miles. We ride to ensure that no fallen officer or their family is ever forgotten. EOW relies on sponsors and donations to cover this cost. Please consider donating to help support the families and departments of the fallen officers. You can donate by visiting our website at www.endofwatchride.com/donate. Please support the Blue.
Hi, we're Joe and Megan Malico, owners of Archery World up here in Lacey.
We're a full pro shop, so we have a full pro service also. We have a huge indoor range. We carry 11 bow lines, all the major bow lines, and then there's subsidiary companies too. Like if we carry Bowtech, we carry Diamond. If we carry Matthews, we carry Mission.
When you come in, we're going to ask you, what kind of price point you're looking for. What's your hope, what's your goals with your bow. And with that information in mind, we'll point you in the direction of, that price point bows, and then maybe give you the option to test fire, maybe a higher level bow, just so you can compare. But it really is all about getting what it is that's going to work for you.
We don't upsell anyone. They shoot it, they like it, they don't like it, they don't get it. We don't operate like that. So if you need it and it puts you in the outdoors, we probably have it. So come down and see us.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Duane England, Scott Kaul here in the Bait Lab, which you're all familiar with. Bait Lab presentation is brought to you by Sportco and, of course, Mack's Lure. We have one of the owners of Brad's Killer Fishing Gear in studio tonight. And this lineup here, Scott, that you got out on the table, conducive for fishing pretty much everywhere. I mean, we've been using this stuff in the upper river, and guys have been using it for years. Used a lot of it down. Buoy 10 last year had great success, even with the full-size cup plugs. We'll get into that a little bit. The full-size skinny. This stuff just flat out works. So talk a little bit about the Evolution 360 flasher. For those not familiar with that, we'll start with the flasher, then we'll get into some of the size differences in your plugs.
Absolutely, yeah. So the 360 Evolution flasher is nice. It is a little smaller than your standard flasher.
Yeah, it's 10 inch, right?
Yep, 10 and a quarter. Mm-hmm. Yep. But with that, we're getting the same thump, if not a little more. So a couple very unique qualities here. Number one, it's got the release on it.
Correct. Yep.
So fish hits, release, bungee, you got a 130-pound cord in there, and you're just fighting the fish and not the flasher, right?
Correct, yep.
Yeah. So you don't have all that drag. Second thing is it's adjustable here. Those three different spots.
Which is unique in its own right. I mean, if this flasher was double finned or replicated a lot of the other ones that are out there, and there's a number of them.
Yeah.
But had those three pull point adjustment options, it would be night and day different from anything else out there.
Oh, just that alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's also got a cutting edge. It's a beveled edge, so it cuts through the water a little quicker, a little cleaner. Yeah.
Talk about those pull points. So for me to remember, I say low is slow, right? So the lower I go on those pull points, and that's really what it is. The lower I go on that pull point, the more fin is exposed at top for cutting in that slow water, right?
So you control down to maybe 0.8 miles an hour
that's crazy.
In that low one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and still get the thump in your rod, which, right, that's what we're looking for.
That's why it was working for sockeye.
It's all about that thump.
Yeah, that's why it works for sockeye, because you're at 0.8, 1 mile per hour, set it on that low setting, low is slow, and worked fantastic.
So I was fishing a couple weeks ago, and I was with a guy, and we had all the rods that were working the right action, and they're all in the top hole, and one was just not keeping up. And so I just dropped it down to that middle hole. Boom, within a minute, kid you not, fish on.
Go figure.
But you're able to sink them that way, you know what I mean?
Let's talk about this particular device right here.
The original, the OG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the skinny. A bunch of different ways to rig it. We got it rigged here with a treble.
Yeah.
That's Chris Turvey's style. He kind of came up with that rig, and it's a fantastic rig with that treble. The land ratio there is great. You can also do beads, as we have set up here, or you can do, like we have here, with a micro hoochie, which has been working really well.
Yeah, that's something new I hadn't seen until you showed me that earlier. And so we're putting on a 2.5 micro hoochie, one bead in front of it, right up next to the support underneath. The original skinny, and extra attractability, extra flash, extra UV.
Yeah, little bling.
And that thing's flipping. I got to assume that it separates out from the actual lure, so you get even a bigger profile.
Yeah, throwing that flash out and attracting them. And you get the squid and the bait fish together, which, they're obviously eating both.
Okay, and what do we put inside these skinnies and these cut
Great
plugs?
question. So most of all these, we're starting out with tuna. in oil if you have it. If not, tuna in water, and you just add tablespoon of oil, and you got tuna in oil.
Oil definitely makes a difference. Now I'm going to run this skinny, and where it's permissible, we're going to put 3 hooks on there like you have on this. So talk about leader length on this right here. So 40 pound or so, 30, 40 pound?
Yeah, generally running 40 pound. You can run 50 pound, even 60 pound if you want. That's okay. We're generally running 24 to 32 inches.
Lots
this
of
one's
whip.
about 28. Yeah, you just get that whip going, and you can also play around with the hooks a little bit. So if you got a stronger tide, stronger current, you can go larger hook.
Good
slow
point.
the thing down a little bit. So you can even go up to 5/0, 6/0 if need be. So these are 3/0 and 2/0, and of course, follow the regulations. Pinch the barbs where you got to pinch the barbs. Number of hooks, like you said.
Yeah.
Good to go.
What's great about these is, as our water tends to warm, especially we get latter part of August down there, lower buoy 10, those temperatures go up. Bait's not holding together real well if you're cut plugging or not choosing to run it in a helmet. With these, man, you're always fishing.
That's the thing. You're always fishing. You miss that short strike, you don't see it. With this, it doesn't matter.
It's still fishing.
It's still happening.
Let's look at some of these other size of the cut plugs you got here. You got a standard. You got a mini, and you got a KCP. Yeah, kokanee.
But these don't work for big salmon.
No,
right?
those don't.
Yeah, okay.
That's the hot melon that we just saw in the
that's
Quick
the
Tip.
hot melon, and that one actually works very well for big salmon. Yeah. It's deadly. And something about midday, just as Bill Herzog was saying, just something about midday, and we've seen the same thing. Early in the morning, the larger profile seems to get a bit more, and then in the later afternoon, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, the mini, and then something about just that sun's high in the water, and this is just less intrusive.
Yeah.
It's just kind of that little gnat flying around. And
hook sizes you would recommend to run with the standard, the mini, and the KCP?
Yeah, it varies across the board, depending on currents and speed. 2/0, 3/0 is a good number on the standard.
Sure.
The mini, 2/0 down to a number 1.
Okay.
Kokanee, 1/0, you could do 2/0. A lot of times I'm running a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just depends.
Still getting it done.
Yeah.
Tend not to use a thin wire when you're going down to size 1 or 1/0. Stay away from the thin wire, especially if you're targeting those Chinook. Those big Chinook, then things will definitely bend out. So, changing leader length on any of these as you drag them behind the flasher, or is the leader length pretty consistent?
No, changing it up a little bit. Again, it goes back to not telling the fish what you want. You just sit back, be a student, change it up a little bit, but pay attention to what the fish are telling you, because if it's they want more action,
could be 24, could be 32,
and if you're running all 28s, you don't know, right?
Sure, you change it up.
Yeah.
How about bumper length in front of the flasher based on water depth? Is that going to change if I'm running a 24-inch bumper versus, say, a 16?
Yeah, great
What's
question.
it doing to the action of my flasher?
So you go down, what we're noticing right now is if you're running in about 15 feet of water or less, which right now in the Columbia, there are a lot of fish in that, in that water column.
Yeah.
Especially at the mouths of rivers. Not going to name anything, but
yeah.
I think some of us might know. Anyways, if you go shorten your bumper length down to 16, 17, maybe 18 inches, somewhere in there, in 15 feet of water, you're not getting as big a whip. And so it's working really well on that 15 and shallower.
Shallow water, okay.
Going up to 20, 25 feet, extending it out to 20, up to 28 inches on the bumper even possibly. A good number is 22, 24 inches, just as a standard.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's, distance between your lead and the front edge of that flasher, right? Narrower is going to be a tighter circle, a little longer you're going to have, a little more thump, a little more circles. So, well, good stuff, man. I can't wait to get down to Buoy 10. Got a couple trips planned down there this year. I think this guy is going to join me.
Be a lot of fish there.
It's going to be a good time.
Oh, my gosh.
Hopefully you folks are planning to get down there as well. Lots of opportunity to go get some fish and put them in the box. Okay, going to do it for us this week here in the Bait Lab. Going to jump out for a quick break. We come back, we'll be back in studio. I think Tommy Donlin's waiting patiently by the phone.
All right.
Let's see what he's got going on down there at WTC right here at FHN Northwest.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride in Bremerton, Washington. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why Arima boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. Arima can offer every boat with Honda outboard packages so that you can take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Call or stop by Arima Boats today and let them help you get into your very next boat.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company could build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
Hey, welcome back, Fish Show Northwest. Duane England, Bill Herzog, and Scott Kaul here in studio and patiently awaiting. Tommy Donlin's going to join us here in a second. He's down there at Westport awaiting the start of the WTC, which begins Saturday. Got some activity going on Friday, but the main tournament is Saturday. We got Tommy there, Jordan? There he is. Hey, brother, how you doing, buddy? Can you hear us? Got to unmute your mic, bro. There we go. Is he hearing us? He's walking around. Mm-hmm. He's not sure he's on.
See him walking.
He's walking.
Yeah. So.
It's the glasses.
Yeah. You know, I think we're early, Jordan, so he was waiting for 44. So we're going to sit here and wait for him to pick up his phone.
Let's hope he doesn't do anything embarrassing.
What's he drinking, you think?
Yeah,
place bets? What is that?
You ready to go there, Tommy? You hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Now we got you, yeah. Hey, I know I said probably 44, but we're a couple minutes early, buddy, so it caught you off guard. How's it going down there, man? It looks sunny.
It's going good, man. It's a little windy here. I think it's going to blow a little bit tomorrow, but we're good.
Fantastic. Now, you guys have been out on the water, no secret, finding some tuna, and you've been nothing but smiles, my friend, since you got down there. Tell us a little bit about the tuna. Where are you finding them?
Yeah, so the beautiful thing is about this year is the first trip of this year was better than all of the trips last year. There's a higher concentration of tuna here, and the break is extremely set up. It's consistent from south to north. It seems like, everybody from, Southern Oregon, Coos Bay, all the way up to, Vancouver Island they're in the albacore. So the tuna are kind of spread out right now. Everybody's getting them. Not really in a lot of big numbers. We got 35 on Monday.
Yeah.
The catch slowed down over the last couple days, but it's really good.
Tommy, this goes right along with everything I've heard about every kind of fish going on this year. The oceans have to be so much better. If you're seeing fish this early usually means a lot and good. You think you got better ocean conditions this year, more bait? Why is the early bite better?
Yeah, so, I would say the ocean conditions are a lot better than they have been maybe if you were to compare 2 years ago. Last year was kind of an odd year for us. The ocean conditions were good. We had the nice cold water temps. We had a higher concentration of copepods. The bait was there in terms of the herring mass. But, last year we really didn't have anchovies. In fact, last year there was a big ration on the anchovies, and you could not just roll up to the bait receiver in Westport and buy anchovies. This year, it's a different story. We've got, the same cool water inshore temps that salmon love, and a high copepod count and high zooplankton count inshore. But we also have that concentration of anchovies. And so the anchovy game is back. The tuna seems to be here. It's really consistent. Whereas last year, if you went out on a tuna trip, you wouldn't know if you were going to be able to see a tuna, catch a tuna. And this year, it's been really consistent so far. And the other thing I'll say about this year is the breaks are a lot more consistent. Along that 125 line and inshore of there, you're seeing a very consistent and a pretty hard break too. And so, like I was saying, the guys in Owako, they're getting them really well. Even all the way up to, the La Push, even the folks that don't have bait, they're getting them. And even our brethren up to the north in Canada, they're getting them off of Vancouver Island as well. So
how are the sizes of fish?
Looks good.
You seeing some good size?
We're seeing a mixed bag, really. Couple on the larger size, kind of into the mid 20s. Nothing super big, nothing into the mid 30s or high 30s or anything like that. But everything from kind of like 15 to 25 pounds is what we're seeing right now.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, predictions, buddy. What's it going to take to win this tournament? Do you think of course you stand a chance, for crying out loud. I am pulling for you and your team to repeat from last year. So give me some predictions. What are you thinking?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm just glad that everybody's going to be able to get fish this year. At least I feel that everybody's got a really good legitimate chance. Whereas last year it was an extremely picky bite. And so, kind of what I'm seeing is the fish are not converting over to live bait, and going like wide open on live bait. You're getting a little flurry on the troll, and the troll bite's really good. And so, to be honest with you, if I was going to call it, I think that everybody's got a chance. If you know how to drive a boat, and you can drive a boat 6.5 knots, and you know how to tow lures behind your boat,
right?
You've honestly
saying
got
there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say it's anybody's game, but we're going out there and we've got some kind of select lures that we love. We've got the jigging game ready to go. We've got obviously live bait ready to go. And so no matter what we encounter out there, we're ready.
Well, it wouldn't be you if you weren't ready. You're never not prepared. So I feel like your time down there thus far, and knowing what you know, and I know you definitely have a game plan for Saturday morning when that gun sounds and you hit the water, and I'm pulling for you guys. So who are some of the guys on your team this year?
We got Kim from Edge Rods, our production manager over at Edge Rods.
Fantastic.
He's joining us, and he actually just stepped onto the boat a few minutes ago and brought a whole bunch of goodies that we're going to get to try out and play with. So obviously excited about that. JJ Dial, who's been just such a great friend and just is absolutely gung-ho for fishing and just
100%.
absolutely
Yes.
dedicated to the game. We've got Jerry San Giacomo, who's my first mate, and always there, and just probably one of the top bait fishermen in the state for tuna. So he's going to be with us. We've got a pretty well-rounded crew. We've got Mary Coleman, so Mark Coleman's wife. She's going to join us. Mary and I have fished together at the offshore World Championships in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So we're glad to have her. We've got Jeff Anderson on board. And we are very honored to have him as well. He's he has a Purple Heart. He's one of our combat vets, so we're glad to have him. We've got a really stellar crew. We've got Pete Cole as well, and so and Pete's not new to this game. So we've got a really awesome team.
Fantastic. Well, any last questions or words for Thomas before he?
Next time you come on, Tommy, you have to dye your beard white. We have 3 guys here with white beards, and yours just not fitting in.
You got to have a little white patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
if
not
you
playing
look
nicely in the circle.
You're going to see some white hairs. You know, we had the second kid about 7-8 weeks ago.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
It's starting to get a little whiter.
Those will pop out quicker than you know. That's for sure. Yeah.
They do.
All right, brother. Well, hey, good to see you. Glad to catch up tonight. I know you've had a great and yet exhausting week, but you're going to be ready for Saturday. And we'll see you down there tomorrow. Shing and I will be down there with the trailer and setting up and selling swag. And we're looking forward to spending a couple days down there around the WTC and can't wait for the weigh-in. So good luck, bud.
Absolutely. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
All right.
Have
Sounds
fun.
good.
You too.
All right. Tommy Donlin, there he is, has his team assembled. He is ready to go. He is no stranger to the tuna grounds. Hands down, one of the best tuna fishermen in the state of Washington, for sure. And now if I could just get him to hang up his phone, all right, we're good. Okay, so, yeah, that guy might know a thing or two about tuna. So, you guys planning any tuna trips this year?
No, I'm going to eat the tuna that you bring back.
Oh, is that how this works?
That's
again?
how it works, yes.
Well, Scott's already been out after the Bluefin.
It's
Tell you
a
what,
symbiotic relationship.
we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. I want to hear a little more about the Bluefin trip. Okay, and we're going to wrap up by answering a handful of questions. Guys are inquiring as to where to get some of those flashers, and a few other questions folks are putting on here. You guys got any questions for Bill or Scott before we get out here this evening? Make sure you post them up here. Try to get to those before we close out the show. Jump out for a couple-minute break. We'll be back right here at FHN Northwest.
All Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why all boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. All Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. All Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Before you buy any boat, stop by or call Defiance Boats today to ensure you are getting the very best class boat your money can buy. Cutbacks in funding and fewer law enforcement resources are affecting our businesses and communities. If your business is feeling the effects, Phoenix Protective may be the solution you are looking for. They offer security solutions customized to meet your needs. From remote video monitoring in their 24-hour control center to a proactive, experienced security professional on site, Phoenix Protective has over 20 years experience in ensuring the safety of their customers. Team members are highly trained and proactive, giving them the ability to adjust to the changing needs of their customers. Customers choose to work with Phoenix Protective because they provide the next level in security support to industries such as schools, hospitals, transit, and utilities. For a security assessment to see how Phoenix Protective can help you and your business, visit their website at www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and select Contact.
All right, welcome back here in studio, FHN Northwest. Boy, time flies, doesn't it, boys?
It certainly does, man.
It's just cruising. So, Scott, a little bit about this Bluefin trip you just got back on, man.
We had.
Have you done that before?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I used to do it actually quite a bit, and then had a big span of time where I didn't do it so much, got real busy with things, and but yeah, I had an opportunity to go down with a friend of mine, Dan Miles. He's got his boat down there in San Diego. It's from Portland, but he's got it down there, and he's got it dialed.
It always waits for you, no matter how long you've been gone.
Oh boy, they were there. So instead of going, normally we're heading south down into Mexico or backside of San Clemente. This time we got out of Point Loma and hung a right and went north. Past San Clemente, past Catalina, up to Santa Barbara Island.
I want to know how you catch them. Are you live baiting them? Are you trolling lures? What are you doing?
We are, we have live bait, we have jigs, we have poppers, and we're running 2 Mad Macks, they're called, which they kind of look like the old Wahoo bombs.
You're talking about bluefin. I'm thinking wicked tuna now in my head.
So different coast, different size. Those get up to 1,000 pounds, and these, if you catch a 300-pounder, it's like holy crap. So most of these are in the a lot of school size fish, 50. Ours were all like 80 to 120. Somewhere in there, but
respectable fish.
Still, in those juveniles, I tell you what. Last year we got into the 200s, and there was no difference in the fight between those and these. In fact, one of these, we never saw the fish, but we got spooled on a Talica 50 in less than 30 seconds.
Oh,
That thing hit, and
How much line?
Good times,
800 yards, you said?
800 yards.
800 yards. Yeah.
in less than 30 seconds.
Setting Olympic records right there. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I mean, we're trolling pretty far back to begin with, but yeah, it hit, and if you can't turn the head, it's gone.
I think you're right. We do need to do an FHN trip down there.
Oh, boy. Oh.
You, Tommy? Somebody else with Brad's? Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
The biomass was huge. There are 15 miles of fish.
Oh, my
First
gosh.
day we got down there, fish everywhere. We didn't anchor up. We're in 4,000 feet of water, so we just did 2-hour night watches. Next morning, all the big boats are there, the Polaris and the Independence and all those big sport boats. And then they disappeared. Tuna gone. That's
Really?
how Bluefin are. Yeah.
Just that fast.
That much biomass gone.
Gone. 15 miles.
So, and then we found them 28 miles out of Point Loma after going 140 miles north. So
Now, are they working, they doing flyovers and spotting fish and reporting to the boats?
that's how we found about this big biomass that was up there. Yeah, they're doing a flyover, but the bluefin, even the yellowfin, are kind of notorious for just packing up shop one day and saying,
time to go.
Time to go. It's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. See ya.
Interesting. Well, sounds like an exciting trip, and we need
That was
to.
a great time.
We'll talk more about that for sure. Handful of questions coming on the ticker here tonight, boys, that we need to answer. Bill.
Yes, sir.
Any idea what's a good lure for sockeye?
Well, of course, I go back, to do the OG, the Rasticle.
Absolutely.
I'll run that thing till the last day. And what it does do, we caught a couple Chinook on it last time, and nobody else was catching any
That
kings.
I do believe.
And I say, I've seen this many, many times. I will stick by the fact that thing catches kings damn near as good as it does sockeye. So it's a good thing to run both, but I would go back to our old Wild Country videos and look at that, how to tie it and how to put it together.
Yes, you did. That is out there on the YouTube channel as well. And using one-aught hooks, I still will not change from using that Gamakatsu drop shot hook.
Absolutely. They're the killers.
They pin them, whether it's for kokanee using a size 1 or I up it to a 1-aught when I'm sockeye fishing. I'll run up to a 1.1 small blade. You can stick with a 0.8. For sockeye, they're still going to hit it, but the 1.1 seems to get it done more consistently.
And the UV moon glow was working better than anything this year. The water's a little bit stained a little bit, and it's working very, very well.
Yeah, it works really well. Yeah. That's the same one I put in front of some of my ace high flies, go figure.
What do you know?
And some of my hoochies out there in the saltwater. There's a reason for that.
I also can't emphasize enough to put braid in between your hooks. Especially when you get a big king on, he'll bite through mono, and it's the saddest thing in the world to say my rear hook got bit off. But if you take your time and tie it with 65-pound braid in between the two, you're going to land that Chinook that you catch when
and you're going to have a lure that is durable.
Yeah, and you can fish
if your leader wears out, you just cut the leader off, tie a new leader to that top hook, and you're good to go. Yeah, that's how you build them.
Yep.
So. Looks like, Scott, a few folks are having problems finding some of the flashers and some of the different sizes of the Brad's cut plugs. Throw out a few of your retail outlets where folks can go, or can they order them online, can get them Amazon?
We do not sell direct online. We sell through our retailers. So Sportco is a very good retailer of ours. They get a great supply, and they are basically coming in and going out as fast as we get them.
That I do believe. Nice. And for those that don't know, if you are down in Oregon or if you're in Idaho or, Sportco's just not within an area for you to get to, just call them up. Call them up, ask for the fish counter, talk to the folks. They will pick and pull what you need, and they will ship. Sportco absolutely ships every day. Stuff from their store all over the nation. And
Sportco.com too.
Yes. Talking with Tony down there, he said, man, their online sales and the amount of stuff they are shipping out of the warehouse is at an all-time high because people are calling from all over. It's pretty impressive. So, and you're right, they do get a huge supply from you guys in there, and they keep the inventory up, and they will ship. So if you can't find it, call Sportco, check out sportco.com, get online. If you can't find it online, give them a call, ask for the fishing counter, talk to those folks direct. They're going to get you squared away.
Can I come back? I'm having a good time here.
Are you having a good time?
Can I come back and do this again?
Well, I keep inviting you back because, you do such a great job, and there's a little history.
Well,
a little history.
A little history there. So, Scott, always a pleasure, man.
Oh, really appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me, Bill. It's good seeing you again.
Yes,
Duane, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be here, and real happy for you in the Root Sports deal. Excited to see what that's going to happen.
Yeah, moving onward and upward with this little
in your retirement.
in my retirement.
You're moving onward and upward. You're big.
I just got nothing but lay around time anymore, right? Nothing going on here, nothing to see. So hats off to Jordan, man. Just dialing in all this equipment.
Nailed it, Jordan.
Got it going on back here. You guys need to tell him great job because he is.
Do I have to tip him?
Well, yeah.
All right.
Pick him up this time after you knock him over, though. So, all right, it's going to do it for us this week here at Fish on Northwest. Want to thank you for tuning in. If you didn't catch the entire show, no worries. Go to our Facebook page, YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't watched the entire episode. A few weeks, this will also be out on Root Sports. You can get caught up via Root. Premiere show, Root Sports Now, August 20th. And then every week thereafter, multiple days throughout the week. Pretty excited about that happening. We'll keep reminding you, August 20th on Root Sports. And hey, have a great weekend. Get out there, get some fishing done. There are literally fish everywhere. And of course, you just need to decide, what do we, Bill? Frozen with indecision.
Frozen with indecision, and we love it.
All right, see you next Thursday right here at Fish on Northwest.